Hi there, welcome back to my channel. I'm Doris Ojage and I'm a sonographer currently practicing in the UK but originally from Cameroon. On this channel as at now, I share information for sonographers on how to practice internationally and for career growth. So if you're interested in that, you're welcome. Please subscribe and like this video if you find it informational and interesting to you. Now, if you're thinking of sonography, if you want to become a sonographer, or just thinking like, what is sonography, like what do they do in that field, and who are sonographers, what do they do? I guess that's why you click on the chat on this thumbnail to watch this video, as we're talking about the pros and cons of sonography. Right now, to me, is more of an individual perspective. So what I'll be sharing with you is what I've experienced so far in my 6 to 7 years as a sonographer, right, in Cameroon and presently here now in this new part of the world. Right, so let's start immediately with the pros. Now, the first pro to be is you get to help people. You get to be of help. I remember one case where my colleague and I were working on this patient that we have scanned for a long period, over and over, and we kept saying that there's a kidney stone that's causing this patient pain, and this patient is going through a lot of pain, like a lot of pain, where even the pains medication that he was on was not doing him any good. And we keep reporting that there's a kidney stone, He went to a urologist and went to a radiologist, like in other towns where he was referred to from our place. They said there was no stone, he's fine, he should drink more water, blah 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 blah, a lot of stories. Then he came back and we were telling him that there's a stone and everything. He finally went to a doctor, because this time around we insisted that there's a stone and everything. This patient came to the emergency and he was really in pain, same pain but a little bit more intense, and we kept insisting that there is a stone. So this time around they ordered him to do a CT, and we did a CT and they had to operate him. So that was a good thing, that I felt we were able to help him. If not, he would have stayed with that pain for so long and the situation would have been deteriorating, right? So that's something that you could do as a sonographer. You really go out of your way to help people, and because you are the eye of the doctor, you see and help the doctor do his work better. So that's something that I really enjoy as a pro. Now the next pro is the time for schooling is really short. That's really short, and you get to kind of like call him a doctor, right? We're going to wear lab jackets, so people think that we're doctor and they call us doctors, so we'll not refuse. We will not say no, but we will not say yes. So the school period is really short. So in 2 years, you can get an associate degree, or you get a higher national diploma, as the case in Cameroon is, or in 4 years, you get a BSc, or 3 years, you get a BSc. But either way, from an associate degree or a HND degree, you can take a registry exam and become a sonographer. So it is that short and cute to become a sonographer. Even though it is intense, I must say the 2 years is intense, because you are in the hospital, you are in a hospital, you're in school, you're in a hospital, you're in school, and it's a lot of up and down, and you have to put in so much information in a short period of time. So you have to prepare for that. Now the next is the job stability, the job availability, right? There's number of specialties. There are so many specialties you could go into. There are always jobs available. The job is stable, right? And then you get to experience more and work with more variety of people. You work with children, you work with the elderly, you work with pregnant women, you work with non-pregnant women, you work with men, you work with women. Like, there are so many specialties that you explore as a sonographer, and you always have jobs. The rate at which sonographers are being needed keeps increasing. Why? Because technology is changing in the medical imaging field, especially sonography. We have different machines, different technologies that you need to study, and then there's just a lot that you have to do. So there are always sonographers being needed. Now the next is the money. Of course, the money. Oh god, you get paid pretty well right out of school. Like, for my case, I got a job even while I was in school. So right out of school, you get paid pretty well, and your pay increases with the number of registers that you get after school and your years of experience. So if you get different registries, your pay increase and things like that. So the money is good, I must say. The money is good. And then you could also become a travel sonographer. So you could travel to different towns and perform your ultrasound. Just also see people, see places, also get paid. And if you're traveling, you get paid more. Even though you are still traveling and come some kind of vacation, you're on a work vacation, but you get paid more than a sonographer in the same town. So that's something that you also consider if you like that. And then the job aesthetics is also good. It's good. The offices are calm, kind of like head on, like that chaotic life in the hospital. Some settings could be chaotic. You work in a very busy hospital, it could be chaotic, but it's not really like that. You're not really like there front and center and everything. No, it's not really like that if you want to compare to other professions in the hospital. So that's a good thing. And then if you're a creative person, this is a plus for you, because to perform ultrasound, you need to be creative enough to get good images, right? Good images that can be diagnostic, that can be used as diagnostic tools, right? So you need to be able to work with your patient positioning, how you place your hand. Like, there's a way you hold the prop. Don't just take a prop and hold. There's a way you hold the prop. There's a way you place the prop. There's a way you scan between breaths. There's a way you scan between inclination of your patient and things like that, your prop and everything. So there's an art to it. So it's a creative process, and I myself, I do enjoy when I get good images. It's really kind of fulfilling. So that's a pro. And then the next pro is that there are more options. Like I said, there are really many options, and you could work from one option to another. So you could leave from an obstetric sonographer to a pediatric sonographer to a musculoskeletal sonographer to a vascular to an echo card to you could specialize on guided procedures, guided injections, guided aspirations. You can specialize on that. You could do sonohysterectomy. Hey, what what do they call that one? Right? Sonohysterectomy. I've forgotten that name. It's only HGGH coming to my head. The one for X-ray. So this one now they put fluid into the uterus, and then it's easier to get polyps. Right? You can focus on that. Right? Focus on endocatheter exam. So there's a lot of specialties that you could focus on. So you don't really like get that kind of drained at your job. If you feel that you have worked on obstetrics for so long, you could just switch to musculoskeletal, right? You just need to take a registry exam, or you take a course to refresh your memory, because all this is covered during your school period. And if you have a good foundation in general ultrasound, you could easily switch to any of these specialties. So I think that is that for pros. Now let's go to cons. The first con that I will say here is you need to be physically fit. You need to be able to lift patients. You need to be able to stand for long. So if you already have problems with your knees, you have weak knees, you already have injuries, that's going to be a problem for you as a sonographer. So you should consider that before going to the program, because you're going to be lifting patients, you're going to be standing for long, you're going to be reaching out to scan the spleen and the liver. You are going to have to move your patients, especially patients that cannot move themselves. You are going to be standing for long period, moving a lot in the hospital. So that's something to consider before signing up for the sonography program. Now the next con is, to me, it's not really a con, is that you get to work night shift. You have midnight shift, you have calls, you have holidays, and you also have to work long periods, like very long shifts. And this is a con depending on your life situation at the moment. If you're single and you don't really have let me not say you don't have anything going on for you, I'm sorry. You're single and you decide that you want to get more money for your time, so you could call in and get more shifts and things like that. It really becomes a problem where you have no choice. It's not your choice, right? When it's not your choice, you have to do it, because you're the only person on call, the only person on staffing and things like that. So that's when it really becomes a problem. So otherwise, you get paid extra for it, so that is also a bonus. You can get more money for that. Now the next is musculoskeletal injuries. Like I said, you have to be reaching out to scan patients, you have to be pressing on the prop. And if you've taken a sonography, you have done a sonography scan before, we are sorry if we are pressing, right? It's because we're trying to get good images. And this does not only, you are not the only one that feels the pain, our thumb also feels the pain, right? So sonographers, like 1 out of 10 sonographers will tell you that they've never had pain, but 9 of them will said that they have had some kind of musculoskeletal related injury due to their work, right? But if you get to do good ergonomics, you practice good ergonomics and good patient positioning, like just follow your protocol well, you reduce, right, you reduce that risk of musculoskeletal injuries as a result of your work. But just know that that pain will be there, will be there. Like sometimes I'm scanning the patient and I just like, I don't know how to explain it. There's just that pain and I just have to stop, and I take that period to talk with the patient, talk more on the patient positioning, like what the patient should do, talk more to calm the patient. Like it happens a lot when a patient is not, if you have a patient that is not like following and cooperating with exams, it really disturbs. So take time, talk to your patient, let them know what's happening, and why you want them to go this way, why you want them to breathe and hold their breath. Like it helps, and they also participate with you. It reduces the rate that you have to press, you have to stretch, so they just like they follow, yeah. So that's something I could do to reduce that. Follow good economics. Now the next is, somehow we are like the first line in the hospital, right? Patient comes to the hospital, doctor don't know what's wrong with them, so they run them through us. We are first line, so you are the first person, you are the eyes of the hospital to see what's happening before they start taking them now to, rather taking them for isolation, or taking them to the OP, or to the, no. So we're the first line and we're exposed to many diseases. So be prepared, go through the patient file when you are, before you want to approach the patient, so that you know how you will dress for that patient. If you have having your gloves on, you're having your entire body mask, whatever it is, don't compromise, don't compromise on it, right? So do what you have to do to protect yourself. Now, the next thing is, you can't tell the patient the result. That's a con. But most patients get aggressive. Most patients get abusive. They kind of bash at you. They they make you feel badly. They do make you feel bad. Like I, for one, I really do feel bad when patients are just snobbish and they talk to you as if it's not my fault. These things are out of my hands, right? This is how they said that we should do it. So understand this, right? Like in a normal chain, we'll take the scans and then we report to the radiologist. The radiologist will now give it to the physician that will give you your results. So we are sorry if you have to wait 2 hours. You have to wait 2 days. You have to wait 3 days to get a result. It's really not our fault, right? So this also leads to the next con, where you have to get a good poker face. Like you have to get the good poker face, because you have patients looking at you. Like I had this scan for this patient that I've been scanning for a period of time. Like a patient came one time and it was a missed AB. The next time was a missed AB. This patient went through many treatments, and the patient came again and I'm looking at an inevitable AB. Like my facial expression, if I do anything, that patient will just start crying on the bed, and I don't want that. Because I too, my whole day will just be bad. Like I already have to deal with that. That patient might lose that pregnancy, and then now I have to deal now with the crying patient. So you have to work on your poker face. Like you have to be strict. I don't know, you have to be strict to your face. Like you have to scan from start to finish without your face changing any sign or whatsoever. Do you understand? Like your face does not have to change. You have to stay on that particular face throughout your scan, and that's not something that is really not easy, because we are all emotional and we have the feelings are just there. I for one, I'm very empathetic, and being in this field like this, I get to carry a lot of cases with you. Is really not, it's really not easy. It's really not easy. It's really not easy at all. Really not easy. Because I remember one case where I was scanning this patient, and then I remember something funny in my head and I laughed. And the patient was like, "What is it? What's happening? What is it? What is it?" And I too, I was shocked by the patient's face, and I remember like, God, I shouldn't have laughed. I shouldn't have laughed. I shouldn't have laughed. Oh my God. So that is really a call. You need to prepare your poker face and hold this strong. Now, there's the next one is, you really get some stressful cases, like cases that just follow you home. Like you have patients who die. Like I remember the first patient that I scanned that died while I was scanning. Hi, my God. Truth is, I went home, I went out and I called my dad. Could not, that was the first time ever I experienced a patient dying on me. Like I was scanning the patient died. You thinking about it now, I get so emotional. I so So that's something that you have to learn to deal with. And there are also cases where you have some really difficult cases that you really cannot make head or tail of the case, and that is where you have to go now to your fundamentals of reporting: location, anatomy, location, echo structure, echo texture, size, full stop. Don't go and be calling names that you don't know the names. That's why you have to go back to your fundamental and do that. I also need to be able to, you have to now struggle to now reach a radiologist or reach another tech or another sonographer that can help you in deciding or looking at the case. So that's also a big con, right? So it's difficult to work alone. Now imagine if you are on call, you are doing a midnight call. Who do you talk to? Who is on call with you, right? So you have to go through that alone. So I think those are the, yes, those are the corner that I can think of. This other one that I said on pro, right? That you could just switch from one specialty to another once you write the exam. It's a pro, but it's also a con because you also get to, those exams are not cheap, right? They're expensive. I have to write them. I have to take $100 per exam, right? So you have to write all different exams. Like they are, then they go through the stress of studying. You know, when you are studying for an exam, it's different from when you are practicing. You could practice obstetrics very well, but to write the obstetric exam, you realize that you're failing. So there are different things and different methods to how you could do it. So it's a lot of stress. That's also a con. And then one other con I'm going to say is, it's funny and all, but I think that there's just a bias between nurses and medical imagers. I don't know why, but I think the older nurses, they are angry about how much we get paid. I don't know why they're angry because I've really never spoken to any. Because how do I even start speaking to people about, how do I even start speaking to them about it? So I don't really know, but I think there's a bias there somewhere. I just leave you to think about it. So if you have experienced that in your practice, just leave a comment down below and any other pros or cons that you know about. All right, thank you. See you in the next video.